Hey guys, what's up? It's just Connor here. Hope you're having an amazing week. In today's video, I want to talk about what is high ticket sales, what is high ticket closing, how does it actually work? Because I had a bit of an epiphany recently as far as like the general understanding of what this business model actually is, because it's actually quite confusing to a normal person who's not actually inside the industry. Because I've been there for such a long time, it's just so unconscious to me that it seems to me very simple and easy to understand. But for someone who has no idea about sales or hasn't even considered sales in their life or even heard about high ticket sales in general, it's going to be quite hard to understand. So and I really did think about it when I go and explain what I do to either family or friends or relatives or just people in general in any social setting. I always just say that I do sales, right? And they ask what do I sell? I just say I sell stuff, right? Because I got sick and tired of explaining what it is that I actually do because people actually didn't understand it, right? It actually is not super easy to understand. So that's why I wanted to make a video breaking it down so someone like yourself can understand what it is and how you can take advantage of it, okay? So let's first start off by talking about what is high ticket sales, right? High ticket sales is not network marketing, right? It's not a pyramid scheme or an MLM, right? A lot of people I guess, associate that word with something that seems to be too good to be true. Too good to be true comes from a unwealthy mindset, a broke mindset, a poor mindset. And the reason I say that is because wealthy people who have lots of money wouldn't really be that risk adverse to a lot of the opportunities that are out there, and hence why they make a lot of money. Now, yes, there are a lot of scams out there and a lot of people that don't want of benefit to you, but you have to understand the word or the phrasing, it seems to be too good to be true, comes from the mindset of non-abundance, right? Lack of, right? And when you really choose to become wealthy and you can be really successful, you realize that opportunity is abundant, money is everywhere, and you can take advantage of it, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. But first point is it's not network marketing, it's not a pyramid scheme or an MLM. Just want to get that out of the way. You're not selling someone else's product that you have to buy, right? I'm going to explain a little bit further here, right? You've probably heard of some guys, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Iman Gadzhi, Andrew Tate, Alex Mosey, right? You've probably heard of some of these guys, right? What do they all have in common, right? You've probably seen them online elsewhere. They're quite popular. They have quite large followings, right? They all, as does every business in the world, employ salespeople, right? And you may have seen an ad from a company that says, click here on how to make money online, right? It could have been Forex trading, it could have been e-commerce, it could have been affiliate marketing, it could have been SMMA, so social media marketing agency, right? You've probably heard of a few, you've probably seen of a few. You maybe even clicked on the ad and checked it out, and you probably didn't follow through with it because you might have thought it might have been a scam, right? Well, too good to be true. I can assure you that a lot of these offers that are out there definitely aren't too good to be true, and they do actually work because if they didn't and they were just outright scamming people and they were taking people's money, the government or whatever entity in your country would be taking these guys down pretty quickly, right? Things would be taken to court, criminal organization, whatever, like that, they would be taken down, long story short. So a lot of these companies do actually help people with what they're claiming, right? It just depends on a certain degree, right? So that's a bit touch and go on that subject. But moving on from there, you've probably seen, dating coaches, investment coaches, fitness coaching, just to name a few, right? This is what the sector that we're talking about, like online education, right? Now, this ad that you're seeing, it's a beginning of a sales process for most of these businesses, right? In the high ticket world, we call this a funnel, right? So basically someone's showing different states of awareness of like, hey, I have a problem. I'm now looking for a solution to that problem. Now, once I've got looking for a solution to that problem, I'm now product aware. And that is when they see someone like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Iman Gadzhi, Alex Mosey, and they're making a decision where they want to buy, right? So to even explain it further, so like I just mentioned, a written down explanation here of how it actually works, but I've already explained it. But what they'll do is they'll click on an ad, right? They're going to put in information like an email, a phone number, or their name, and they're going to book a call directly in a salesperson's calendar or watch what's called a webinar, right? This is just a video that shows a person interested what a product or program or service is all about, right? Now, here's the big problem that you as a high ticket salesperson or a closer can solve, right? Business owners are busy, right? But as you can tell, they have lots and lots of money to spend on advertising considering the size of the business, right? To attract people to potentially become customers or clients, right? But they don't have the time to take these calls with interested prospects, right? They have to pour their attention into, creating content, running ads, managing a team, looking at finances, creating new ads, not just running the ads, doing delivery, hiring, firing, working with clients. The end just kind of continues, right? They're busy people. And on top of all this, most business owners don't really like sales. So as soon as a business is in the position to delegate to someone who can take it off their hands, that's where you come in, right? You get onto the call with them, right? You find out their current situation, what's blocking them, what's their ideal situation and solution, what are the consequences of not solving it, pitching them if they're a fit and taking the payment information, right? And at the end of a 30 to 45 minute call, you're getting paid 10 to 20% of sales worth from $5,000 to $100,000 per sale, right? I've sold packages from $3,000 all the way up to $30,000, right? 10% of 30,000, you can imagine that's a pretty rewarding hour sales call, right? But once the deal's done and when it's closed, you're finished. That's it. You don't run the business. You don't have to take care of fulfillment. Typically at this point, it's handed off to the delivery of the offer. So that might be the coaching or the coaches that are involved. That might be the online training they have, community managers, customer service managers, customer success managers. Like that's really what it's handed off to. And I'm here to tell you this, that industry that I'm talking about is not going anywhere, right? The online education industry is worth $235 billion US in 2022. Now, it's forecasted to grow to $648.6 billion in 2030, right? So, not a small industry, right? The industry isn't going anywhere, right? So, when I talk about the high ticket sales industry, that's what I'm referring to. Now, what's something that's what's different, right, about that compared to normal sales? What's different to that compared to normal sales is you're selling things that are high ticket, right, and with high margins. Because in the online education industry, a lot of the times, the only expenses that the business owner has is the advertising, maybe a little bit of team, and the sales team, right? So they have much more margins to pay you more. And considering that you're selling high ticket, anywhere from $300,000 to $100,000, they have more profit to pay you, right? And that's why it's such a lucrative industry, because the profitability is so high for the business owner. You can get rewarded so well, and the industry is only ever growing and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can fill that void of where the sales calls are being booked in the calendar, and you can collect some handsome commissions, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, right? Now, obviously, there's more traditional sales path, which is totally fine to go down, and you can still make as the same amount as money, and you can do super, super well. So we're talking about like insurance, door-to-door sales, selling solar over the phone. There's so many different types of sales that you can do that you can make endless amounts of money, abundance, right? I've seen sales guys earning 10K a month in some industries. I've seen some guys earning 100K a month in some industries selling solar. It's really up to you. And the cool thing about sales is you can write your own ticket and you can really do whatever you want to do as long as you have the right skills, right? When you have the right skills, right mentor, the right guidance, you can do very, very well at this, okay? So now we know what high ticket sales is and we know what more traditional sales is. What is a high ticket closer, or what is a remote salesperson, as I like to call it, remote sales professional, right? Very similar and the same, right? A high ticket closer is essentially a glorified sales rep, right? So like we talked about, they sell high ticket offers, so 3,000 plus, and work for very in-demand businesses like coaching, info product, agencies, software as a service companies, and even more brick and mortar businesses like solar and roofing, like I just spoke about. Now, as I mentioned before, these businesses need salespeople, and they're going to happily pay you handsome commissions, so 10 to 30%, for simply closing new business over the phone or on Zoom. Now, as a closer, right, you'll get calls booked into your calendar from whatever method of marketing the company's doing. That could be ads, cold outreach, appointment setters, and all you have to do is show up to those calls and close those deals and get paid, all right? So if you're selling a $10,000 coaching offer and you're getting paid 10%, right, you can make $1,000 per call you close, and you can take calls whenever you want, wherever you want in the world, right? As a high ticket closer, you can earn $10,000 per month very comfortably from working 3 to 5 hours per day, right? Now, that is all dependent on the offer that you get on. So your skills and your opportunity, right, your network is just as important as everything else, right, that I just mentioned. But if we run some maths, let's be super reserved. If you're selling a $5,000 offer, a 10% commission, you're getting $500 per close. If you take 5 calls every weekday, that's 100 calls per month, right? You just need to close 20 of those calls to make $10,000 a month. And 20% isn't even a good closing rate, depending on the industry, right? Usually you're going to look anywhere between 30 to 40% at a minimum, but that's also going to depend on the industry. You can get all the way up to 80%, 70%, but it's all going to depend on the different scenario, okay? Now, a clear distinction that I want to discern is between a high ticket closer and a remote sales professional. The reason why I don't like using the word high ticket closer, although that's what the industry has coined the term to be, as the label or title that you have within the industry, the reason I don't like myself or my students being associated with that type of term is because it's commoditized, right? Now, the reason why it's commoditized is there's been some guys in my industry that are very, very big, and they've taught and trained a large amount of people that have now been injected into the market, and they don't have the right skills, right? They're lazy. They're inbound closers. Oh, 1 second. Now, the reason why I don't like my students or myself to be really associated with the word high ticket closer or remote closer is, I guess, when you want to be viewed as a remote sales professional, because you're kind of being left high and dry as a high ticket closer or being associated with that word, because people know that you're a beginner when you talk about yourself like that. Nobody that is really, really good at sales is going to be calling themselves a high ticket closer, right? The reason why is what's being connotated with that word, considering that that particular person in my industry has sold so many people with that ideal. They're lazy, they're unskilled, they're unprofessional, and that's just the word, I guess the characteristics or the attributes that have been associated with that word, considering that that's just what's been developed with so many people coming across that way, considering they've been trained by the same person, right? And they all act the same, right? That's why me and my students have a bit more of a different positioning of training to become a remote sales professional. The only reason I use the word high ticket closer is because that's just what people are familiar with, that's what people know, and that's what people are going to be searching for when it comes up to, people searching on like how to get involved into high ticket sales, right? Or, high ticket closing, right? For example. So, with that said, guys, that in a nutshell is exactly what high ticket closing and high ticket sales industry is all about. And that's how it all works, right? It's really, really simple. It's not hard to understand, especially when I've explained it in depth inside this video. So hopefully now you get a good grasp and concept of what I actually mean when I talk about remote sales, high ticket sales, whatever I'm talking about or waffling on about in the week or on my Instagram, wherever you might find me. But yeah, that's a super clear explanation, so you clearly understand what it is, right? Now, just to kind of nip things in the bud, how do you take advantage of this? How you take advantage of this is, like my students, you find a mentor, you find a coach, you find someone that can guide you to give you the right skills so that you can basically identify the right opportunities to work on and basically capitalize in this industry. There is abundance of opportunities. I'm going to create training videos in the future on how you can find them. You can find in Facebook groups, high ticket sales opportunities. You can find plenty of them everywhere, job posts, job boards. You can find it everywhere. But the key thing is being able to discern what's going to make you money and what won't, right? That's the really, really key thing here. So what I suggest is to take advantage of the opportunity is learn the skill of sales, get really good at it, start applying for jobs, right? Get after it. And there is absolutely no reason why you can't make more than 6 figures in 2023 with no experience, complete beginner. Doesn't matter what your race is, your background, if English is your second language, it does not matter. That's why sales is so good, because it's a meritocracy, right? The best get to the top, right? Winners win at the end of the day, okay? So hopefully you found this video valuable. and I'll see you in the next video.